Good morning, students. So our today's topic is physical and chemical change. Okay, so let's understand the difference between the two. First of all, let's understand what is a physical change. Okay, in previous chapter we already have studied about the physical properties of matter, right? So what thing come under the physical properties of matter? Let's recall. It's their color, their hardness, their shape, their rigidity, their fluidity, density, boiling point, melting point. All these comes under the physical properties. Okay, so whenever there is a change in such properties, such change is known as physical change. Okay, so that is known as the physical change. Okay, so let's have the definition. A physical change is a change of matter that occurs without changing the chemical composition of matter. So whenever there will be a physical change, okay, there will be no chemical change, there will be no change in the chemical composition of matter. Okay, whereas come to the chemical change, a chemical change is a change of chemical composition of matter. Okay, this is obviously it is opposite of physical change. Let's have the example of physical change, that is cutting of a tree. Okay, when if you saw a tree in the garden, you are having a clear diagram, clear picture of that tree. One, trunk will be there, branches, leaves, flowers. So that is the appearance of tree. When you cut down, it's when you cut down the branches, when you cut down the its trunk, wherever, whatever the you do with that. So such type of change is known as the physical change, but there will be no change in the chemical composition of that tree. Okay, with which matter it is made up of, that chemical composition of that matter will of that tree will remain the same. Okay, in case of physical change. If we are talking about the chemical change, so example is rusting of iron. Okay, so whenever the rusting of iron takes place, you know that there is a chemical reaction. Okay, and during this chemical change, this chemical change takes the change in the chemical properties of matter. Okay, and we get the new substance. Okay, suppose iron is there, if there is a rusting of iron, so after rusting, the properties, chemical properties of iron will change. Okay, and that a chemical change is also called the chemical reaction. Okay, physical change is usually reversible, and this chemical change is usually irreversible. No products are new no new sorry new products are not formed, and in case of new products are formed. Okay, in case of chemical reaction. Here are some example. Physical change examples are change of state, cutting of trees, and then dissolving. Suppose you are dissolving salt in the water, that is also a physical change. The chemical composition of salt will not change at all if it is being dissolved in the water. Okay, so that is a physical change. Then corrosion is also a chemical change. Fruit ripening, it's also a chemical change. Then combustion is also the chemical change. Okay, uh, elements. Okay, so first of all, let's have some introduction about the element. Robert Boyle was the first scientist to use the term element, and it was in the year 1661. Antoine Laurent Lavoisier, 1743 to 94, a French chemist, was the first to establish an experimentally useful definition of an element. And what was his definition? He defined an element as a basic form of matter. Okay, a basic form of matter that cannot be. An element is a basic form of matter that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reactions. Okay, so that is known as the element. They can be normally divided into metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So we can divide them. Elements can be broadly, so normally divided into these types. So let's one by one understand this type of pure substances under which these elements come. Pure substances are two types. They are elements and compounds. Okay, so elements क्या होते हैं? It's a basic form of matter which cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reaction. Okay, elements are of three types, right? Metals, non-metals and metalloids. Okay, so first is properties of metal. So this you will in 8th standard you have gone through in detail about the properties of metal. ठीक है, they have luster, they are malleable and ductile, they are good conductor of heat and electricity, they are sonors. So you understand about all these properties, right? Example: iron, aluminium, zinc, mercury, copper, silver, gold, etc. Right? You know, na, malleable. What is malleable? What is ductile? Okay, uh, conductors of heat, sonors. So you have to go through this. Luster. Properties of non-metal: they do not have luster, they are not malleable and ductile, they are poor conductor of heat. Generally they are poor conductor of heat and electricity, and they are not sonors. Okay, so um, you already know, but let me recall that, and let me tell you that mercury is the only metal that is liquid at the room temperature. Otherwise all the metals are in their solid form. Okay, example: gold, silver and zinc, mercury, aluminium. All these examples are given here. Okay, if you are having any doubt about malleable and ductile, so let me explain again. Malleable means they can be converted into thin sheets, right? If you talk about ductile means you can convert them into thin wires. You can be converted into wires. Luster mean obviously you know that shine. Sonorous mean when you know hit them, so they create a sound. They make a ringing sound like when you hit them. What are properties of metalloids? So we said that elements can be classified in three, that is metal, non-metal and metalloids. Metalloids are elements which show some properties of metals and some properties of non-metal. Okay, so examples are boron, silicon and germanium. They are also very important. In higher classes you will study about the uses of these metalloids. Then comes the compound. Okay,